Sorry, who accused who of white supremacy?
That was NDP leader Jagmeet Singh with yet another political malfunction.
Sir, I know you're criticizing the Trump administration, but China's detained 2 Canadians. I just wonder if you got your eye on the ball here.
Can the NDP leader recover? Jamie Ellerton, seems to be gaffe after gaffe. This spells bad news going into a by-election for Jagmeet Singh.
Most definitely. I think pretty much anywhere Jagmeet Singh goes now, you're hearing the sad trombone into the background. The more time you hear Jagmeet talking, he's pretty much always talking about himself now. Will he or won't he lead the party into the next election? Will he or can he not unite the party going forward? This really bodes really ominous kind of storm clouds for him in the future.
We constantly are talking about consequences for the NDP leader if he does not win the by-election. But what if he actually does manage to eke it out? Does his caucus get behind him?
I think if he actually does win the by-election, he will be able to fight another day to stay on. That doesn't mean all the acrimony and kind of rebelling MPs that he's kind of had will go away, but it will give him enough legitimacy to at least get one kick at the can this fall.
Well, it's certainly giving us some great front pages at the Toronto Sun. Moving on, Jamie, yet another shuffle for the Justin Trudeau government. When political observers think that a shuffle is happening, you think, oh, it's a government in trouble. We know Scott Bryson just recently submitted his resignation for a whole host of reasons. This shuffle, though, put some players in a demotion position. Some got promoted. How do you look at this?
I think the shuffle is actually pretty small considering what it could have been and some of the rumors we were hearing up in the lead up to this shuffle. What this essentially says to me is that Justin Trudeau believes that they're on the right course and that they're not going to change. If he had moved the $20 billion bill, Bill Morneau and his $20 billion deficit out of finance, it would have been a concession that they're on the wrong path. If they would have moved the carbon tax minister, Minister McKenna, out of the environment, it would have admitted they are on the wrong path. So the Trudeau government is very clearly trying to stay the course going forward. They think this is their best shot, and frankly, with a weak Jagmeet Singh, they're probably right.
All right, so how did the Conservatives handle all of this? Andrew Scheer is going across the country on a bit of a media blitz himself. He's getting some positive coverage. People are starting to, I wouldn't say necessarily warm up to him, but they certainly are becoming more familiar with who he is. How do you see the Conservatives moving forward with a fledgling NDP? And we know that Conservatives to do well in an election, the NDP has to do well. But still a pretty popular Liberal government in spite of all the number of gaffes that have happened over the past few years.
Yeah, so I think there's 3 things Andrew Scheer needs to keep doing, and he's already started to do that, if you just alluded to. One, if it's going to be doing national media, talking to the parliamentary press gallery, it needs to be driving messages that kind of raise the unfavorability numbers for the Liberals and holds the government to account. Otherwise, he needs to be getting out of Ottawa and doing regional media, really connecting where Canadians are, and not on the national broadcast, which kind of really penetrate the public consciousness that a different way. And the third is to keep recruiting candidates. They need 338 stellar candidates. They're going to have their own networks and their own connections in their local communities to help raise the Conservative flag. And I think those, over the course of the next 6 months, really into the spring, that's where his focus needs to be. There'll be plenty of time for national cameras when the national campaign rolls around. For now, he needs to be getting out of Ottawa as much as possible and having people like Pierre Poilievre and Michelle Rempel really doing that hold the government to account lines. It tends to be more negative, but is important in terms of holding the government to account.
A lot of political runway left before the next federal election in October. Log on to Facebook and Twitter. Let us know what you think. And don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.